Final Talk, Final Talk, Final Talk with Tavis,
Hey there, everybody, and welcome back to Vinyl Talk with Tavis, and I'm Tavis, and I'm here in my classroom today because I wanted to take the time to talk to a few of my colleagues and a few of my students to talk about the top-selling album of all time. Now, I've owned this record many times over. I've bought it and I've sold it and I've seen used copies and bought it for like $5, and I've sold the album for like $25. So in the past few months, I have not owned it. So I decided to go on Amazon and I went to buy this. I decided to buy this again. I never will forget when I was a little boy in 1982. Me and my family gathered around, was it 1982 or 1983? Anyway, me and my family gathered around the television. I wasn't sure if it was MTV or Black Entertainment Television or VH1. It was one of those three channels. And my dad had purchased this humongous satellite in the early 80s. And we could get any channel we wanted. And we saw all these movies and music shows. And they were going to premiere Michael Jackson's Billie Jean video. And my dad and mom, I think my mom was making some spaghetti or something, and he beckoned mama into the living room, and he had me and my sister come in, and we gathered around the TV and we saw Billie Jean. It changed my life, and it was the most wonderful experience. One of the most wonderful experiences that I had with my family, because it brought us together. We were sitting there together with smiles on our faces, loving what we were seeing. And this morning, just for the heck of it, I said, you know what, since I bought this record, let me just talk about Michael Jackson. Let's talk about my favorite artists. And then the kids had an opportunity to talk about their favorite artists. But we watched Billie Jean together. They had the same smiles, they had the same feelings. I could just see the way they were moving and reacting to the video. They had the same reactions that I had when I was a boy. This album, y'all, I'm sorry. No, I'm not gonna even apologize. This album is the bomb. I have the CD, I listen to it in my car on my way to work. I listen to Beat It. And all those members from Toto who helped create this music, and Quincy Jones and Michael Jackson and Rod Temperton, changed our lives. Now here are some interviews that I had with some of my colleagues, and I hope that you enjoy, okay? And then that's gonna be the end of the video. But I'm glad that I could share just a little taste of how much I still feel. I have so much joy for this album. I feel so good. I'm so glad. I haven't even opened it. I don't want to, because it has that. The world's biggest selling album of all time. Let's watch these videos. Enjoy, everyone. And remember, with music, be inspired and stay inspired. Is it recording?
Yep.
Hey everybody, I'm at recess with the kids, but I have one of their teachers, and we're talking about the album Thriller. I asked her this morning, what was she doing in 1982 when Thriller came out? Tell us, Miss Myers.
What was I doing? You know what I was doing? I was in school just like you guys, and you know what? I was dancing to this song and all of his other songs, because Michael Jackson is one of my favorite artists ever.
Wow. Do you think it made a big impact in the world? She said, do you think it made a big impact in the world musically?
Oh my gosh, yes. I still teach dancing to his songs. Right now, today, we gotta have some Michael Jackson in our lives.
Last question. What's your favorite Michael Jackson song of all time?
Oh man, this one's a hard one. but I'm gonna go with Thriller. Thriller, Thriller.
Everyone here with me is Berkeley, a dear colleague of mine, and we're talking about Michael Jackson's Thriller. Mr. Berkeley, can you please tell me, do you remember 1982?
Yes, I do, Mr. Minner. What's your first
Call
name?
me, just call me Tavis.
Tavis? Okay,
Yeah.
Tavis, I certainly do remember 1982.
Do you remember when this album came out?
Do I? That was one of my favorite albums ever. Thriller.
Why?
Well, I liked it because of the songs that was played, Billie Jean, the way they advertised it. I've always liked Michael Jackson since he was a young boy. And in 1982, I was in East St. Louis, Illinois, working at the East St. Louis Junior College. I lived in St. Louis though, and Michael Jackson was one of my favorite people. And he had just he was on his way to St. Louis for a concert, and I couldn't help it. He was the Beyonce of 1982.
Do you remember his Off the Wall album?
Oh yes, oh that was another one, Off the Wall. Michael Jackson, I'm trying to say, I don't know how I can say this so people understand, is that I saw the Jacksons. I went to the Lincoln University in Jefferson City, Missouri.
Okay.
And I had a young lady that we were very good friends that lived in East St. Louis, Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Jacksons at that time, they were just called the Jacksons at that time, and they lived in Indiana.
That's right.
And they came down to East St. Louis to a little club there in East St. Louis, and they hadn't even been to Motown yet. And I saw Michael Jackson when he was just a young, sprouting cat. He couldn't have been no more than about 11 years old.
Wow.
And I saw him in a club, and at that time, and we knew, everybody that saw him at that time knew that they were gonna turn out to be something special.
Okay, well, in comparison, can you compare or let us know which album you think is the best? Because this is considered the world's biggest selling album of all time.
Right.
Do you think, which album do you love the best, Off the Wall or Thriller?
To be honest with you, Tavis, I think I kind of liked Off the Wall.
A lot of people say that.
I liked Off the Wall.
Why?
But I can't, I'm not a connoisseur of
Music?
I mean, I know what I like and what I don't like.
Right.
I'm not my memory isn't what it used to be.
Yeah.
But I remember Off the Wall, and I remember Thriller here, and I guess Thriller. I liked Off the Wall. I just answered your question.
Thriller is more commercial.
Yeah.
Off the Wall seemed
I
more.
remember he was doing all that
Right.
Thriller thing, all that
Right.
out in the cemetery type thing.
Oh, that Thriller video.
Yeah.
So you consider Off the Wall the more better album?
Yeah, for me and my lady friend.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I like Thriller.
Well, you've heard it. This is Mr. Berkeley, and thank you for sharing your time and story with me.
Right. The last name is Purnell, Berkeley Purnell.
And we work together. He's one cool cat.
But he is one heck of a music teacher, believe me. He got the kids working, and we've had some of the best concerts, well, not concerts, what do you call it? Programs than we'd ever had before. Thank you.
These kids, they got me working day and night.
Thank you very much.
Take care. And I'm here speaking with a wonderful, dear friend of mine, and I just wanted to know, how did you feel when, do you remember 1982?
Yes.
Oh,
Very
wow.
well.
And Michael Jackson's Thriller came out. How did you feel when you heard and saw the videos? What was your reaction?
I felt it was very original. It was the most original thing that I had seen. And it was the time when videos were BET and VH1 were showing artists singing their songs as well as performing their songs. So it was an exciting time. And I was so happy for Michael Jackson. That album was major in his career. And it was so original.
Do you remember,
I loved it.
Do you remember his Off the Wall album?
Yes.
which one would you consider to be your favorite if you could choose?
That's a hard call. That's a tough call.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
were both. I remember the song very vividly. I remember exactly what I was doing when I heard that song.
What?
Off the Wall.
What were you doing? What were you doing? Was it something appropriate?
We won't mention that now.
I just love it. There you go, people. Well, in your hand is Michael Jackson's Thriller. Now, do you remember where you were when that came out?
I absolutely remember where I was when Thriller came out. My stepfather was a DJ when I was a child, so I was very familiar with music. And Michael Jackson was big time when I was a teenager. Like, hearing Michael Jackson's music, wearing the clothes that he wore, that was all, everything. I had a red jacket. I had a red leather jacket. My best friend and I both had one. We wore them together. But I tell you what, when Thriller came out, when the video came out, that was like, I had never seen anything like that in my life. To this day, if I say Thriller, everybody knows of a certain time period what that means. They will show you in their body movements. They will show you how they're dressed. But just looking at the songs on here, on the back of this, just makes me just go back to, like, Beat It,
Yeah.
Billie Jean.
Yeah.
The Girl Is Mine with Paul McCartney.
Girl, you know
Y'all
everything.
don't understand.
Now, did you attend a concert of his?
Yes, I did. I attended his concert at Arrowhead Stadium when I was a teenager. He
Now-
sold out that entire stadium.
What state was it in?
It was in Kansas City, Missouri.
Wow. Well, see, it still influences today.
I really like Michael Jackson's music. I like the way Michael dances.
I love the Billie Jean song and I love the Billie Jean video.
Thank you, Mr. Meta, for teaching us about Michael Jackson.